Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining Experis Technology Group and HPE Point Next, HPE Services Organization this morning to talk about our infrastructure as a service solution. My name is Andy Copio, and I am a GreenLake sales specialist that works along with Experis. Just a few items. We do have a chat box available, so if you have questions as we go through, please go ahead and type those in. And Bruce Feldman, who is also with me from HPE Point Next, he'll be able to address those. And then, of course, we'll have a Q&A at the end of the session. So this is what we plan to go through today. What is driving everything as a service? What exactly is GreenLake? How it works and the benefits, and then we'll go through a few use cases with you as well. So what's driving this whole rapid pace of change? As you can see, a lot of these companies are now out of business. They call it the idea economy, where anybody can get into the business. It's a very low cost of entry now because technology prices have been reduced so much, and you have so many new ideas floating around out there. It's really created quite a challenge for traditional business models for IT. And so that is why customers are moving towards as-a-service models. And what we hear from them is that, the pay-as-you-go, the ability to scale very rapidly, and models where they're operated for you instead of you having to operate the model just provides a much more flexible and easier to work with IT environment. So as a service provides better environment, faster time to value, allows people to spend their time on business value add projects, cloud economics where you're paying only for what you use, and then of course proper controls, because that's very much of interest and very critical, the ability to manage performance, risks, and the costs. So IDC is predicting that by 2020, which is only 18 months away, that 40% of infrastructure spending will be as a service. But there's a dilemma for IT leaders. On the one hand, the public cloud experience provides really easy startup. There's several models of pricing available. They do have the variable payment and flexible usage for compute, storage, and networking. On the other side, on-premises IT provides the control and security. It allows you to run your legacy workloads. You can put it either in your own data center or at your co-location of choice, and it provides an enterprise-grade service level agreement. So those are the choices that they're faced with. HP's infrastructure as a service product, as we said, is called GreenLake Flexible Capacity. It is an infrastructure as a service solution. It provides a cloud-like experience in the privacy of your own data center. It's a statement of work contract with monthly pay-per-use billing, and you're paying only for what you use. With our advanced metering, which is a component of GreenLake, you truly are paying for only what you use. We also provide the ability to add capacity in minutes versus months with a simple change order to the statement of work. And it always ensures that you will have capacity ahead of demand. Workloads that should stay on-prem, you have that ability now. And then enterprise quality service and support are bundled into the solution. And I'll go into a little more detail. So how it works. Basically, one of the biggest benefits of GreenLake is time to value. So the ability to deploy applications and workloads in minutes versus months. We do have customers who indicated it can take them up to 3 to 6 months to deploy new infrastructure. So on the left, you see all of the challenges in getting infrastructure set up that, you know, a traditional on-prem model creates. And then on the right, what we're showing you is how GreenLake works. So we provide what we call baseline capacity. That's what you would need for the first, say, 3 to 6 months. It's completely right-sized. There is no over-provisioning here. Then what we do is we add a 20% variable so that as you get towards the top of that 80% baseline, you can go in and out of the variable that's put on site free of charge, and you're only charged for what you use within that variable. So you can go into it 1 month and then come out of it the next month and not be charged for it. And then for very high growth environments, we will also supply an additional 10% buffer. So very fast growth, unpredictable growth, some customers might require this kind of a setup, and we would, again, provide that free of charge, only billed when it's used. So as you can see, with that baseline capacity and then the variable and the buffer, we can reduce your time to value to minutes versus months. Oh, hold on, sorry. There we go. So I'm going to take you through a little animation here, just to show you what the benefits are. So this line represents the compute that's needed and that is invoiced. And then the orange line showing you with a traditional purchase, most folks will over provision. 451 Research has indicated through their analysis that almost 60% of enterprises wait 3 months or longer for new capacity, and so they over provision. They buy more than they're going to need because of budget cycles or whatever the case may be. They might not know what their growth is going to be. And so compute and storage, as you can see, on average, probably 50–55% is over provisioned, and that is wasted money. So you can see on the left axis, it's money. That's the problem. And then with flexible capacity, we install this buffer on top of what you would use so that you're always maintaining capacity ahead of demand. We want to do that because on the bottom axis, you see over time, many experience downtime because they haven't been able to accurately forecast capacity planning, and, you know, slow performance because they don't have enough resources available to service, you know, the business. So all of these savings that flexible capacity provides allow you to reinvest that. You can either reinvest it in other IT projects, or you can just invest it and, you know, earn money on that, you know, in the bank or whatever. And here you see the minimum commit level. So savings are between the usage and then the traditional model. Here is the buffer. And as you can see, if that buffer weren't there, you wouldn't have the capacity needed, and so on. Okay. It's just going to show you from a financial perspective how it compares with the traditional purchase. So as you can see on the bottom right, whoops, in a traditional purchase, you would buy additional capacity. You would over provision. You know, again, because of budgetary cycles, you don't know when you're going to be able to purchase more, and so people do that as a hedge. But what you actually use, that's the model that GreenLake provides. So from its outset, you're right-sized. You're provided with the orange represents the buffer. And then as you grow, you simply add capacity with a change order. Everything is all in the statement of work as far as, you know, pricing and terms and conditions, so you don't have to go out to RFP and procurement. It really reduces that time to market. And as you can see, the difference in investment. So, you know, it's a lower investment upfront when you're right sized, and then versus, you know, having to invest in a chunk that you might not use. And in addition, not only is the capacity sitting idle when you do this, but the warranty burns as well. So that's additional savings that you could get from GreenLake. And this just shows sort of the cash flow of a GreenLake solution versus traditional. So as you can see, in year one, you have a large capital outlay, and then over the 4-year term, you're getting more on par. And the same on the right. So as you're looking at the cash flows here, with the traditional, you're way up here versus GreenLake. Now, over time, they're going to get closer, but the idea behind GreenLake is we're pushing those investments out so that you can take advantage of the present value of money, invest it somewhere else. This is just an example of a medium-sized configuration. Now, these are the components of GreenLake. We have what we call units of measure, and you decide which unit of measure you'd like us to track for you. It could be per core, it could be per compute module, for VMware, it could be per server. You have storage per gigabyte, HPE software licenses, and networking per port. You also have various options throughout the HPE technology portfolio. You can add third-party products to this, but it's really primarily an HPE solution, and we would work with you if you do have products that you'd like to add in. For services and support, really the differentiator, and I'll go through it a little bit deeper, is the metering. So we have a very sophisticated advanced metering piece of this that monitors hourly, daily usage, and has powerful reporting capabilities to show you where the utilization is occurring, and also capacity planning forecasts and things of that nature. There's a full assigned support team that includes proactive services, reactive services, and optional adaptive management. So if you wanted us to run the environment for you, we certainly could do that as an add-on, as well as consulting and training. Now, the terms can be either 3, 4, or 5 years. And what we're showing here is the analytics portal. So what that's designed to do is give you greater visibility into consumption. We have charts and graphs and reports. It gives you more control over usage and costs, so you can set thresholds when people are starting to go, or business units are going over their budgets. It provides trending analysis and helps you to accurately forecast what your future costs are going to be. And then it will show you through rules-based insights where you can optimize, so that you can optimize your IT spend. So it's basically driving greater visibility and transparency into the environment. It's reducing the total cost of ownership through a disciplined deployment process. And it also helps to provide higher density and workload alignments so that you're not investing where you don't need to. Now here, what I wanted to point out at the top here, there's a short 5-minute video that you can go through at your leisure. We will be sending you the slide deck. But these are examples of some of the reports that are generated by the metering piece of GreenLake. So here's one summary of all usage by device. You can set up budgets by departments, capacity planning ahead of demand. That'll track that for you. And there's a lot more to it. It's a web-based portal tool that you have access to, so you can see what your usage is at any time of the day. And so in addition to all this reporting. So how is GreenLake priced? It really consists of a per unit price, the unit that's being measured, how much of the capacity is used, and then what tier or price band you might be in at that point in time. So as you can see here, we have 2 billing tiers. We have one for compute, and the unit of measure is per server. We also have one for storage, and the unit of measure is per gigabyte. Now in band 1, from 0 to 10 servers, you're paying $1,000 per server. In band 2, as you move to 11 to 20, you're paying $900 per server, and the whole footprint reprices. So everything in band 1 as well as band 2 now becomes $900 per server. And as you grow, the pricing decreases. So GreenLake is really a growth model, and what we try to do is estimate, what the beginning requirements are, the right-sized environment, and then over the term of the contract, where you think you might be at the end of the contract. Now, you never have to reach that. There is no penalty for not reaching that expected or predicted growth. And I'll also mention that if you do dip in and out of the variable, you don't ever have to use that variable, and you're not charged for it. So HPE is taking the risk of putting that insurance policy on your site, and you're not responsible for paying for it. So as you can see, with growth, the pricing decreases, and that's how you would be charged on a monthly basis for GreenLake. So in summary, sort of the benefits, the metering, the buffer capacity, workload alignment delivered as a service. It's really a better process for deploying IT infrastructure on premises. It gives you the visibility so that you can align the precise amount of compute, storage, and other resources to what the workloads and applications actually require. And it really maximizes the amounts of workloads that you can put on any system because of that visibility. So that provides you with upfront savings because you're eliminating the need to over-provision. And it also provides back-end savings. So you're not adding infrastructure where you don't need to. We know where those idle assets or extra capacity might be lying, and you can deploy there instead of having to purchase more resource. And metering and capacity management ensures that you always have capacity ahead of demand. So that decreases your procurement cycles from months to days, and the simple change order process to add capacity. So basically, GreenLake gives you the ability to be agile and prepared for growth and change in business requirements. And it's managed by Data Center Care, which is a Pointnext product. And what that includes is a whole team of resources assigned to the account. It includes, periodic on-sites with the account team. It would be Experis Technologies, it would be HPE, and it would be you and your teams to talk about these types of activities. You have a utility delivery manager who is watching the metering on a daily basis, so that as you start to get near the variable or the top of the variable, that triggers a phone call from HPE and Experis to talk to you about that, whether it's just an anomaly or whether you might need some extra capacity. So it's very proactive in that sense. And it includes our premium level of support. So you go right to level 2, level 3, and you have the ability to choose DMR, defective media retention, if needed. And then in addition to that, we offer optional services that can be performed by Experis or with HPE. So, we take care of operating the cloud on-prem, but we can also provide delivery services remotely to monitor the environment operated, to basically provide whatever it is you might need so that you can free up resources, for other projects. So in summary, the GreenLake benefits really revolve around financial. Those are the primary savings or benefits to GreenLake, as well as time to market, and then of course the operational. So, low monthly payment, no significant upfront capital expense. You can reinvest back into the organization. It speeds time to market and avoids over-provisioning with capacity ahead of demand and simple change orders to add to the footprint. The cost per unit decreases over time. It's predictable and consistent for budgeting and forecasting. You're saving money with a true pay-per-use model where you're only paying for what you use. That improves cash flow. And you're always with this metering and capacity management, ensuring that the environment's right size. You're not paying for more than what you need, but you always have enough on hand. And of course, the dedicated resources to help manage the environment and drive down costs. This was a study that was commissioned by Forrester, and basically what they found is with GreenLake Flexible Capacity, you can deliver IT faster, shortening time to deploy projects by as much as 65%. We can simplify the operation of IT, freeing up people to do their best work, 44% less time keeping the lights on, and 40% increased IT productivity by reducing the support load on IT. And then we delivered the economics of on-premise cloud with a pay-per-use model and about a 30% CapEx on average savings due to the need, eliminated need for over-provisioning. So GreenLake's a great fit. When you don't have the capital, say, for a large project that you need to embark on, or say a workload or application upgrade that requires, a technology refresh, and you just don't have the capital for that. Great scenario. When longer procurement cycles no longer fit the business, so say forecasting capacity is difficult, you just don't know. It could be very unpredictable, and it could also be due to very fast growth. So a lot of companies now are implementing service provider models where, business units come to IT for their resources, and if you don't have them, that they complain, IT's too slow. So this is a great use for that. When data and workloads need to be on-prem, this is, a lot of industries such as healthcare, where, because of HIPAA compliance or other regulatory requirements, you need to have that on-premise legacy applications that you can't put into the public cloud. And then also, if there's latency issues with the application where you can't have that going over the network pipe, it needs to be on-prem. And yeah, I guess that's it on that. One of the workshops that you could take advantage of through Experis and HPE is to help go in and assess your environment, look at, meet with your key executives, and this workshop is on site. Business-focused discussions around IT strategy, operations, and finance, and then deliver recommended actions. So it's designed to evaluate your current IT status against your objectives, industry trends, and competitors, and it identifies areas for improvement around agility, cost optimization, and technology. And then it creates a roadmap for proposed improvements and then the expected returns. Okay, so that's optional. Now I'd like to talk about a couple of use cases that we have. So this particular organization is based out of Italy. It's a luxury clothing retail fashion designer. And they had e-commerce orders coming in every 4 seconds. So having to adapt to these peak shopping experiences or periods was causing them a lot of challenges. And what they did was they implemented GreenLake, and they were able to reduce their time to deploy development environments from an hour to minutes. They increased their throughput 57% to easily handle growing online customer demand. They gained the agility to quickly expand and contract storage capacity as needed. They doubled their productivity and simplified the budget management because the storage costs were not predictable. And then the customer was able to deliver a world-class shopping experience and efficient product fulfillment for their customers. At the bottom, we do have a case study that's public and published, and you can get a closer look at this particular use case by going to that URL. And then the second use case, Greenville Health Systems here in the U.S. They are one of the leading electronic medical record technologies capable companies. They're at stage 7 of the HIMSS rating, so that's the very top. And using GreenLake Flexible Capacity, they've been able to go to a paperless system. They leverage physician order entry, ordering of medications and procedures. And so GreenLake, they actually upgraded their Epic system, which is the health record system that they use. And the outcomes included, reducing downtime, increases in performance, and overall better patient care. Allows them to expand quickly to react to needs as they're bringing on new practices. With GreenLake, they have the ability where they're not in a situation to have to overinvest, but also, suffer from lack of capacity. And again, there's a YouTube video that Greenville did for HPE that you can access with the link below. And this is just a sample of some of our other customers. As you can see, they range from all industries. They start from very small, Birch Communications, all the way up to Ford Motor Company. So they run the gamut, basically. And then in closing, just wanted to say, we have public independent studies where, proven cost parity, if not less than public cloud. We currently have almost $3 billion under contract globally. We've been at this for 8 years, and we have the experience and the expertise. And we have actually 647 customers now. We signed on 157 new customers in 2018, and we're on track for 200 in 2019. And I will also mention that we have a 99% retention rate because customer satisfaction is key. And with that, I want to thank you. Thank you for your time this morning. I hope this was valuable for you. And I guess we can open it up to questions.